Okay, last lesson we did this, but I quickly want to go over it again because we need to use this for today's lesson. What we were doing, this is the worksheet, we were finding a percentage of an amount. So you should already have the theories section filled in, and some of you will have started on this last lesson. But just to recap, if you want to find 24% of 121, a percentage you always put over 100, so 24 over 100. The word of means times, and you want to times that by 121. Okay, and then you type that in your calculator. 24 over 100 times by 121. If it gives you a fraction, press the SD button to get the decimal. So 29.04. Okay, let's just do another one of those. Let's do question 3 underneath. What is 79% of 151.9? So we do 79 over 100. Of means times by 151.9. Okay, 79 over 100 times by 151.9. So 120.001. I kept them all. There it is. Okay. So a few of you have practiced that. Let's now build on that. Today we are going on to, you'll have some time to finish that off if you haven't already, but we're also going to do this section, which is on increasing and decreasing by a percentage. So what this means is maybe you are a shop owner and you buy in some stock and you want to increase the price of everything, so you're going to sell it for a profit, right? So here's an example. I want to increase $70 by 15%. First of all, you have to find out what that 15% is, and that is exactly what we were just doing. We find 15% by doing 15 over 100, and then we times it by the $70. Okay, so let me type that in. Okay, so make it a decimal, so it's 10.5 or $10.50. But what the shopkeeper really wants to know is, what is he going to sell this item for? I need to add the $10.50 onto the $70 starting price. So there's a second line, $70 plus the $10.50, which means that he's going to sell that for $80.50. So it covers his expenses, and then he's got that extra 15% of profit. Okay, there's lots of other applications here. Here's one that's a length. I want to increase 30 meters by 75%. You follow the same two steps. Find 75% by doing 75 over 100 and timesing it by the 30. Type it in. I want you guys to give me an answer this time to make sure you guys are following along. What do we get? Perfect. Okay, because we are increasing our second line, you start with the 30 meters that you started with, and you want to add on the 22.5 that you just found. So that means it has become 52.5 meters. Okay, but then there's a second type of question, the ones underneath. These ones say that we want to decrease now. You still do the first line the same. You still need to find the percentage of the amount. So I want to find 40% of $10.50. 40% means 40 over 100 times by $10.50. In the calculator, what do you get? Yeah. If I am decreasing now, when I was increasing, my second line was to add it on. What do you think decreasing means? Minus it off, that's right. Always start with the number in your question. So you start with $10.50 and you want to subtract off the 4.2. So 10.50 subtract the 4.2 and you get, does anyone know? $6.30. So it is 6.3, but because it's money, we usually like to have that second decimal place, so it's $6.30. And let's do another one, decrease. Decrease 15 kilograms by 25%. So I want to find the 25%. 25 over 100 times it by 15. What does it equal? Good. Okay, now I want to decrease, which means I want to start with the 15 kilograms and take off the 3.75. What do we get? Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is the safest way, I think, to do these questions. A lot of these questions are often worth 2 marks because I'll give you 1 mark if you can find the percentage, and then the second mark is either adding it on if it's an increase or subtracting it off if it's a decrease. There is a shortcut. Are you interested in the shortcut? No? You just like this way? Yes, 1 yes. All right. As I said, this is the safest way, and I think most people are more likely to get it right using this method. The second way is a bit shorter. I'll just do the questions on the right again. If you want to increase 30 metres by 75%, what you do, a full amount is 100%. So what you do is you add the 75 onto 100, which means that you want 175%. So you add it on 175% of the 30 metres. Now that will give you the answer in 1 line. So I type it in, 175 over 100, times it by 30. Oh, press a decimal. So there's the 52.5 in 1 line. Okay, let's do a decrease one. So when you increase, you add the 75 onto the 100. If you're doing a decrease, again, I'll do part B here. You start with 100%. Decreasing means you take the 25% off. So that's 75%, which means you do 75 over 100 times by the 15 kilos. And again, you should get that same answer in 1 line. So that should equal 11.25. Okay, the problem with the shortcut is a 2-mark question, you get 1 mark for the first line, 1 mark for the second line, right? If you are doing a 2-mark question in 1 line, if you mess this up, you've done this line wrong, you will get nothing. Whereas if you mess something up in the 2 lines, you might still get 1 of the marks. So just be careful if you're going to use the shortcut, please. All right, your work, you have those other ones to finish off as well, but then you also have these questions here on the next page. Now, before you get going on it, please notice that there's a little bit of a difference in the wording. So this one says, find the selling price if we have a car worth this, and we want a discount. A discount is another way of saying that I want to decrease, or you're going to be minusing it off. Okay, so all the ones that say discount are the same as decreasing or subtracting off the price. Whereas later on down the track, let me find one, maybe the next page, yes, over here, you see ones that say mark up. When you're marking something up, it means that you are increasing. They're the ones that you add on. So they're your increase questions. Okay, so if you could do all the pages now up to page 9. This is where we want to get to today.